Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Before You Play. Today I'm talking about Street Fighter 6. Fair warning, I play fighting games very casually and this video will be directed towards casual gamers. Take a look in the description of the video for resources to learn more about Street Fighter 6 from the professionals who play this game daily. That being said, Street Fighter 6 seems to be targeting both new and returning players. The game has a few game modes to choose from, which are World Tour, Battle Hub, and the Fighting Ground. Both World Tour and Fighting Ground help teach the player how to play the game, but also present challenging enemies if you already know how to play Street Fighter. World Tour is an open-world campaign-style mode, which has you create your own character and battle through a simple but fun storyline. Battle Hub is an online multiplayer hub where you can engage with other players online. And Fighting Ground is a classic arcade-style mode where you play as your favorite characters. The graphics and visual effects look great, and in contrast to the last video we made, Street Fighter 6 is bright and colorful. The music is high energy and really gets you pumped up as well. Finally, the replayability comes mostly through the online multiplayer and Fighting Ground, but you can also find a decent amount of replayability in the World Tour mode. We're going to talk about all of that and more in this episode of Before You Play. Street Fighter 6 has 3 game modes to play in, and I'll be starting with World Tour. This mode is a campaign-style story mode where you create a character of your own and fight your way through a simple storyline. You're given a good amount of character customization options so you can create any character you can imagine. Mine happens to be super tall and is kind of like an Iron Man C-3PO type deal. You can also choose from presets if you just wanted to get started with the game. If you choose the presets or you end up wanting to change how your character looks later, you're given the option to change your character's appearance at the body shop. Last thing about the character customization is that your body proportions affect your fighting experience, so be careful how you choose to create your character. After you've created a character and completed a quick tutorial, you're thrown into the open world of Metro City. Here, you can fight nearly anybody you walk past. Each fightable NPC has a level associated with their difficulty level. Defeating NPCs rewards you with money, usable items, and experience. Additionally, you'll run into gangsters who will automatically attack you and begin fighting. In these fights, you can expect 3, 4, sometimes 5 or 6 additional enemies to join the fight. There's also gang leaders and other powerful opponents to fight throughout the world. Usually each fight will last only 1 round, but the more powerful opponents will take 2 rounds to defeat. When your character levels up, you gain additional stats and skill points. You can use these skill points to progress a tournament-style skill tree. The gear you wear also affects your stats, and there are many ways for you to acquire new gear. If you don't like how a piece of gear looks, you can simply change the appearance of the gear while keeping the original gear's stats. The way the storyline progresses is by following storyline missions. There are also side missions which do not affect the story, but grant decent rewards, which can come in handy throughout the campaign. Moving on to what I think is the coolest part of the campaign, and that would be the Masters. As you may know, there are quite a few fighting styles in Street Fighter. When you begin playing the World Tour mode, you're using Luke's style. As you play through the story, you'll have a chance to train with many different Masters. Once you train with a Master, you unlock their fighting style. As you win fights while using those styles, you gain experience for not only the character's level but also the fighting style. As you rank up your style, you unlock more of the movesets and interactions with your master. The more you interact with your master and give them gifts, the better your bond becomes with them. Once your bond is at 100, their character outfit unlocks. In a nutshell, the World Tour mode allows you to adapt your fighting style as you progress through the game and gives you an opportunity to be part of the Street Fighter universe. Now let's talk about the Battle Hub. You'll enter the Battle Hub with a character that you created in World Tour mode or quickly create one before entering the hub for the first time. Battle Hub is online and you'll be interacting with other players while you're here. There's a lot of activities to do in the Battle Hub, so let's start by talking about battle cabinets. These arcade cabinets allow you to sit down and wait for another player to sit on the other side of the cabinet to battle you. While you wait, you can train or spectate another cabinet, and if 2 people are fighting already, you can join the queue to fight whoever wins. There's also a subset of these cabinets dedicated to extreme battles. Extreme battles have different rules than the standard fights, such as back and forth, where you push the seesaw bar to the opponent's side to win. Extreme battles also include gimmicks, which you can also experience in the World Tour mode, one of them being a giant bull that runs across the screen mid-battle. As you walk around the hub, you'll interact with other players. You can chat, make music, and more importantly, you can fight other players' custom characters. To do this, all you need to do is walk into the center stage of the hub and wait for someone to battle you. If you're in a retro mood, you can head over to the Game Center where you can play a rotation of classic Capcom arcade games. These games rotate periodically to keep you coming back for more, and you'll be able to play the games with endless credits and continues, or you can play the high score challenge mode where you compete with players worldwide for the high scores. There's a couple other locations like the event counter for tournaments and the goods and body shop for your customizable character. But for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the final game mode, the Fighting Grounds. Starting with the online section of the Fighting Grounds, you can play ranked and casual matches against other players in an online matchmaking format. There's a whole ELO type system for ranked play where you earn league points and rise into different leagues, starting at rookie and reaching all the way into master. Casual matches are simply 2 players fighting against each other for no LP gained or lost. And you also have the ability to create custom rooms where you can have a group of people playing each other. Pretty cool for a LAN party style get-together. Next, we have the ability to play extreme battles, which are the fun, gimmicky fights we talked about earlier. We also have one-on-one and team battles where you can fight computers or other local players. If you're new to the game or are trying to master a specific character, then you're in luck because Fighting Ground has 4 great modes to learn and improve your skills. Training is a mode where your opponent stands there like a punching bag while you unload on them to learn different movesets. Tutorial mode is where the game shows you how to play the game from the very basics to more advanced techniques. Character guides are more granular tutorials for each move in a character's moveset to help you master your main. And Combo Trials is a mode where you're given 2 or more moves at a time that you need to land on the enemy to create a combo. Finally, we have our last game mode within the Fighting Grounds, and that's the Story mode. In this mode, you play as a single character across 5 or 12 fighting matches. Each fight progresses the story a little, and at the end, you conclude the short story and receive a bunch of Street Fighter artwork. Okay, so we covered a lot in the gameplay overview. Let's move on to the next section of the video. Street Fighter and most fighting games have a high skill floor and seemingly non-existent skill cap. Street Fighter 6 lowered the skill floor a lot, so much so that I feel comfortable saying that Street Fighter 6 is suitable for most casual gamers. The World Tour and Fighting Ground offer great tutorials and guides. The game also supports the classic button layout and modern button layout. The classic button layout is much more complicated, but it's true to its roots. Players who have already played Street Fighter will recognize this layout and be able to jump right in. The modern layout is more suitable for new players and casual players like me who simply want to play the game rather than compete in a tournament. I would be really interested to see what the professionals think of the new Street Fighter. Take a look in the description for some links to see what the professionals think about this game. Street Fighter has a lot of lore associated with the characters and a whole universe surrounding them. So far, Street Fighter 6 is the newest game in the official timeline and takes place after the events of Street Fighter 3. The storyline in World Tour is relatively limited in terms of lore, but through interactions with the masters and playing the story mode in the Fighting Grounds, the story becomes more expansive. That being said, I really enjoyed the World Tour mode. The graphics in Street Fighter 6 look great. Everything from the character models to the environments have so much life to them. I think for how much the game delivers in terms of gameplay mechanics, the graphics are also pulling their weight. you shouldn't expect to see Final Fantasy XVI type graphics, but they still are current gen graphics and they're sharp. And I believe that the team is favoring frame rate over pixel perfect character textures. The game also has so many special effects while fighting that I can't imagine being upset over the presentation of this game. I thought the designs for the environments and characters were all excellent, and the art style is so colorful and fun. The menus and UI were very sharp too. I felt like everything was easy to navigate, and the team put a lot of work into making sure the UI elements fit the style of the game. The soundtrack of Street Fighter VI consists of something like 80 tracks and contains some pretty memorable tracks for sure. The music is very high energy and would make for excellent workout music. The menu music especially sets a great tone for the game, and each stage has its own track which changes over time to cover round 1, in between rounds, round 2, final round, and more. I thought it was really cool how the music changes based on how the fight is going, and the transitions are smooth. The sound design is on point too. Everything from the menu selections to the actual fighters and their kicks and punches are well placed. I think the sound team did an excellent job generating the energy needed to make the fights seem as intense as they were. Street Fighter VI has a good amount of replayability in terms of online and local co-op multiplayer. Other than that, there isn't much replayability for the single players out there. Once you beat World Tour, you can play through again if you wanted. You can also play the story with all the characters and complete all the combo challenges for each character, but this feels repetitive to me as a casual player. If you're a diehard Street Fighter fan, then you might not feel the same way, and if you're able to play online, then the replayability is great. To conclude this episode, I wanted to give some personal props to this game. I am by far not a fighting game kind of guy. I used to play a lot of Tekken at the laundromat in high school, and I love Soul Calibur, but I'm still just a casual player. Normally, when a new fighting game comes out, I'm not rushing to pick it up, but Street Fighter VI has changed my mind on this. I'm really glad I picked it up and played it because I can guarantee that I'll be coming back to this game in my free time. I'm someone who likes RPGs and open world games, and the little things about the World Tour that stuck out to me were the skill trees, different fighting styles, and custom gear. Also, the ability to fight damn near anybody led to some fun interactions, and these elements helped me become a fan of this game. So if you've always wanted to get into Street Fighter or even fighting games in general, but you're too intimidated to sit down and play, then this game is a great place to start. If you like fighting games already, then I would assume that you already have this game, and if not, then I would say Street Fighter VI is a great addition to your collection. If you're not a fan of games focused on skill and timing, then you might not like this game. If you're not a fan of having to remember many button combinations, you also might not like this game. If you're still on the fence about playing Street Fighter VI, then take a look in the description to find some resources to learn more about Street Fighter VI and the rest of the series. Thank you for watching this video. Check back in a couple of weeks for the next episode on Pikmin 4. Like and subscribe, and I hope that this video helped you make your decision on whether or not to play Street Fighter VI.